What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with All the Queen's Men, Season 5, Episode 6, Wop Wop Wop. First of all, when it said Wop Wop Wop, I just looked at the word. I didn't even pay attention to the spelling. I was thinking like Wop Wop Wop. Y'all, not pew, 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 but the other part of the WAP, Lord Jesus, help me. Y'all forgive me. Okay, please forgive me. Okay, baby, when I tell you my mind was in a Gutter. Okay, straight gutter. I mean, you know, it happens. Players mess up too. Players mess up too. I was like, girl, wait, what? Y'all know this is a show about dancers and all of the things. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Okay, I didn't want to keep that in the inside of my brain, and I needed to let that out. So y'all, the episode picks back up with Tommy, Madam, and Blue. So Tommy is telling Madam to, asking Madam to stop. And Madam, he touched Madam, and Madam was like, get off of me. She pissed. And y'all know she still got Blue hemmed up on the wall with the knife to her throat, and she literally bleeding. So Blue tells her, I know exactly what you're going through, and you're scared. And you don't know who to trust. You're angry, and that anger is taking over you. So I'm not going to fight you. And if you want to take this blade, go right ahead. I'll gladly give my life for you. But you ain't got to do this. That's why I respect Blue. I had said that. Listen, I had a conversation with my cousin, and I was like, listen, I feel like Blue gonna be like, do what you need to do. Like, it felt like Tommy was more scared than Blue was. Like, Blue was like, do what you need to do. I ain't tripping. So Madam, she's still aggravated and pissed. So Tommy was like, it's okay, Madam, we still love you. And he touches her, and she was like, get the fuck off of me, Tommy. Like, she is literally pissed, and she's just not here for it. So Detective Davis is over at Tandy's, and she was like, basically, why was your phone pinged near the club that night the night of Madam's pop out? And so Detective Davis showed her the phone logs, making several calls to Madam, and of course, Tandy has some type of excuse. All right. So then we see Blue and Tommy. They visit Carla. They ask Carla they ask Carla to speak with Hakeem. Y'all know Hakeem was the dude she came out of the bathroom with last episode. She don't know where Hakeem is. She claimed he quit. And so she was like, even though I slept with him, don't mean I know his whereabouts. And that is absolutely true. Okay, just because we hunching don't mean I know his location. That is true. So Madam is on the phone with her dad, and he still want her to go after Concierge. And she kind of don't want to do that, because I do feel like Madam feel like in her heart of hearts that Concierge really did not do this. Like, we knew if it was Concierge, he wouldn't have missed. This is not something he would have done. He wouldn't have never been sloppy about it. I'm sorry. If he did, I don't think he would have paid anybody to do it. I just don't think it was him. And maybe it's my ignorance, but something tells me that it wasn't him. And I could be wrong. And that's okay. We are wrong. We may not always be accurate sometimes. But for some reason, I just don't think that he did it. Anyway, Madam calls Smoke because she want him to unalive the cop that unalive Rashawn. Amp goes to check Tony about approaching Don. Then this raggedy lady tells Amp that she's bipolar. I feel like she's lying just because she wants Amp to feel sorry for her so he won't be mad at her for her behavior that she displays, even when she have these negative behaviors towards him. Even when Amp gets onto her and corrects her and goes off on her for how she shows up, it's like she gets mad at Amp for expressing how he feel. So now she's going to use the bipolar thing, because I'm going to put it in air quotes because y'all know I think Tony's lying. I think Tony is a walking liar. Anyway, we get to Quincy. Quincy is still at the police station trying to get his reward. He tries to lie his way out. He tried to lie about the whole situation with Tandy, but then he ended up telling Detective Davis what actually happened, and then he asked about the reward money. I was like, Quincy is such fine. He acts exactly like Babyface, except Babyface, we all know when it comes to Madam, he has Madam back 100%. So Blue and Tommy, they had to, I think that was Matt, they would head back to Maddie B's or something, I don't know. But Tommy sees Tony at the cashier, at the counter, and he goes over to flirt with her so he can get, they went back to Maddie B, so he goes and flirts with her, acting like, he just so into her. And she was like, well, you called me the ugly stepsister. And he was like, well, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Carla, and he was trying to get Hakeem's information. So he finessed his way in to get Hakeem's information. And then he goes a little further and put a little stank on it and was like, go ahead and throw your number in there. I was like, ew. So Blue was like, well, you're going to have to write. I hope not. Okay. So Carla, she shows up at Madam's house to talk to Madam. So before Carla starts to talk, Madam's phone rings. And it was actually a call from her police informant saying they have information on the shooter. Now, as soon as Madam hangs up, that's exactly what she tells Carla. And then Carla starts to hemming and humming. And why is you hemming and humming? And but Madam, I got to girl. Did you do it? Because now I'm starting to go back to think you did it. Like I'm starting to think that you did it. We gotta count the fact that you had blood on your shirt. We have to count all of your body language that you've been displaying. These little weird, whenever you see Blue and Tommy talk to your valet people, you just somewhere in a vicinity and all of that. I feel like you sleeping with Hakeem in the bathroom was you trying to coerce him or whatever. Like, I don't know. And Hakeem being fired, I feel like that was you, got your hands all over it. It's something about it makes me feel like it is you. I don't know, girl. I feel like you got your hands all over this. Anyway, before she started to talk, Madam tells her, listen, you gotta leave. And she tried to talk again, but Madam was like, listen, hood rat, or whatever she called her, get the... Okay, she didn't say all that, but she was like, go. And Carla ended up leaving. So we don't even know what she was getting ready to tell Madam. So concierge visits Tandy. Tandy tells him about the phone ping that the police notified her about the night of Madam's pow pow. And she also lets him know that her pow pow was actually missing. But concierge somehow knows all of this. And not only does he know that, he knows that Quincy is actually at the police station trying to get the reward to turn Tandy in. So at this point, Tandy is absolutely pissed. I don't know if Quincy is going to make it. I don't know if Quincy is going to make it, and yeah, that's one of the things. It felt like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, some of this stuff kind of felt like a little bit of foreshadowing for some of the characters, especially for the main characters. It felt a little bit of foreshadowing. So Fuego, we see Fuego at Maddie B's, and he's having a lunch meeting with an investor on his prototype. We didn't get much from it, but we see that she actually enjoyed the prototype. She enjoyed it so much that she wanted to take the prototype home. And so she said she'll talk with her people, and then she'll get back with Fuego. So I feel like maybe Fuego will stay alive, but I think him going to concierge will cost him. I don't know. I don't think concierge will say anything, but I hope not. But once we get there, I'll let y'all know. It just felt like some things were a bit of foreshadowing. Anyway, Tandy, in the next scene, Quincy makes it to Tandy's house, and she's bagging all of his stuff, and he walks in just like nothing. Like, he didn't just go to the police station and dime this lady out. So she let him know, yeah, I know what you did, yada yada yada, this grimy ass. So she packed all his stuff. She was like, you need to leave, you can get out. So he threw the bag right back at her with all of his clothes in, and it hit her in the face. And he was like, what did he tell her? He was like, no, I live here, I get mail here. I was like, you a homosexual just like your daddy. You're just like your father. You're a grimy homosexual. Okay? I'm now my wheels are starting to churn a little bit now. I do feel like Quincy will not make it. And that's where I'm at with Quincy. So he was like, you can make room for me, because me and you roomies. And he ain't leaving. I was like, my God. So anyway, Madam have a heart-to-heart with Blue, and they're boxing or whatever, not they practicing. She tells Blue, I want to apologize, so just hit me. And Blue was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Madam was like, hit me. She was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. She was like, we ride for each other, so I'm not going to hit you. Like, I understood what happened. I got it. Like, I'm not tripping. I'm not trying to hit you. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why this lady just don't apologize to people. Like, I don't understand. But if the shoe was on the other foot, this woman is always requiring everything out of everybody. Even if it's an apology or whatever, I don't care what it is. She requires money, respect. I'm just saying, y'all, Madam can be a bit much. She's been a bit much for me lately. And I can't even believe I'm saying that. Speaking of the foolishness, because as y'all know, if y'all don't know, okay, somewhere before this new season came out, me and Doc had done broke up. Okay, so we was a bit shaky last season. We were strong in season 3. We was a bit shaky in season 4. Now we just broke all the way to hell up. Okay? Cause now you get too comfortable with Detective Davis. Okay? You like her. So he's trying to go out on a whole date with this raggedy with Detective. I mean, he's trying to go out on a date with Detective Davis. He actually like her. And as much as she tried to be coy about it or play hard to get or try to be hard about it, she like him too. But because of Madam, because of her friends, and whatever it is in other people, it's like they're allowing all of these things to come in between them. It's going to be hard for them to date publicly. And so he was like, listen, we can just go to the movies. Doc thing is, I'm tired of being in this house just like, I want us to go out. They have a festival. We can go to the festival. She was like, my girl's going to be there. I don't think that's a good look. You know, if Madam, I don't know if Madam see that, she's going to flip. And I just don't understand how this woman has so much of a hold on all of these men's personal lives. Now, with Detective Davis, I think I can see why. Detective Davis has been so much of a nuisance, and she has done so much, and it almost cost Madam jail time with Doc being so careless as it related to Detective Davis. Like, he just still didn't have the ability to cover his tracks. Doc always want to be the damn lover boy. That's his problem. Okay? So, outside, we see Erin acting like Babyface because she have these people out here washing their cars. Okay? Like, girl, why is you being an a-hole to I think it was the amateur. She had the amateurs outside washing her car. Babyface pull up, and he's just in a regular little car. And, Trouble, y'all know Trouble's real name is Erin. So Trouble is laughing. He was like, don't start. She was like, I ain't got nothing to say, but if you want one of these amateurs to wash your car, I can get them to wash the car for you. And so Babyface was like, nah, he just gonna be mean all the time. If he don't do nothing else, he gonna show up like the angry bird that he is. So the guys start walking into the dressing room. It was like, who regular gonna parked in our VIP section? And so Babyface was like, they was like, we need to get it towed. We need to call somebody so we can get it towed. So Face was like, that's my car. And so, they clowned him or whatever. And so he let them know, yeah, I may have a car, but I have IRAs. I'm investing now. So they know that Miss Veronica have him investing in all of the things. And so they let him know, like, that's dope and that is okay. This is where the foreshadowing kind of comes in for some of the guys. So as I'm hoping with Miss Veronica, I'm hoping that this isn't investments, IRAs and stuff like that is cool, but I'm hoping that this investment don't set Babyface up. But Amp kept saying, we all need to be thinking about our futures, because we can't be dancers forever. So it just felt like a foreshadowing of course. And then I know with the prototype, Fuego is probably gonna be doing something with the prototype. So I'm hoping it just don't go off in a way that we think is gonna go off in some type of volatile way. But I'm hoping we can get, even in this dark, even with this dark show, we can get something. As the fans, we can get something good out of it, even in the end. So, Midnight was like, I don't plan on doing nothing but just being me with my money. And I'm like, Lord, we'll see. So then we get to the father-son duo dance. They do a good job. Madam comes to the back. And they get along. The guys get along good. Everybody in the back congratulates them. VIP, in the back congratulates them. Madam comes in the back and was like, y'all did good. Until she tells Babyface that was a good idea. Keep bringing me good ideas. And, this was good. So at this point, Quincy was like, your idea. And Quincy was like, yeah, my idea. And next time you want to tell me, like, the way. So not Quincy. Babyface is so grimy. And when Quincy checked him on it, he was like, yeah, I stole your idea and what? Get over yourself. And he didn't say that, y'all, but I'm just really paraphrasing that part. But for Trouble to look, and she joked it laughingly off, but she shook her head. But the way Big D looked, like in full disgust, because he knows that Babyface is a disgusting person, and like I wouldn't even do that to anybody. So Quincy goes back into the amateur room, because y'all know he's still an amateur, and he mad, so he punching everything. He scream, he yelling, telling people to get out. He grabbed the knife. Now I don't know what he did with the knife, but he grabbed the knife. So then he go upstairs and he go see Madam. But before he go see Madam, we head over to my Madam B's, because Tony called the police. She claims she was robbed and somebody stole her money they stole her money that she was getting ready to drop off at the night deposit box. I called Cap once again, because last episode we saw you take some cash out of there. So Carla was like, what happened? She was like, somebody stole money. And Carla was like, I told you to grab a gun. But the way Carla response was, I really don't believe you. She was just like, It's almost like Carla knows she's a liar and she on BS. And so she was like, I told you to get yourself up. She said, I told you to get yourself a pop. And so she just being overly dramatic, but I still feel like she's not telling the truth. So Carla asked what happened. She was like, I don't know, they grabbed me from behind. Okay, girl. I don't know what's gonna happen to them two, but I don't think those two gonna make it either. I really could be wrong, but yeah. So Quincy goes to see Madam, and this is when he learned fast who the hell Madam is and what you don't do to Madam. So she tells him, the person at the police station told me that my police informant told me that they knew who tried to take me out. But they also said they saw you at the police station and that you knew what was going on. So my question is, why didn't you come and tell me what was going on? So of course he tried to lie his way out of a paper bag. Quincy was being all about Quincy at the end of the day. And when all you had to do was go to Madam and tell the truth. But then when he had that conversation with what's his name? Oh no, that was about Rashawn. I just felt like if you knew all of this, you should have went ahead and told Madam. But Madam, I think she punched him in the nose. I looked away, y'all. When I looked back, he was doing like this. So I don't know if she punched him in the nose or whatever. But she put the blicky up to him, and he when she punched him in the nose or hit him in the nose, he immediately sounded like he was crying. But when she approached him, when she told him about it and she put that blicky on the table, that's when I think he actually started crying as well. He was scared. Like, sir, you cannot do this to this lady. So when she put the blicky in her hand, hit him in the nose, he really started crying. And so she shot the blicky, but it wasn't towards him. She said, the next time you lie to me, the next bullet gonna be in your head. I said, my God, on today. Quincy is self-serving, just like Babyface. Quincy was all about getting what he can get out of the situation. He wasn't thinking about Madam. He wasn't thinking about nothing else. Because if you take out Tandy, I have nowhere to go. Tandy is actually sponsoring me. So if you get rid of my sponsor, where am I going to go? And it's just as simple as that. He ain't think about nobody but him. But when he thought he can get more from Tandy and extort Tandy, I guess until he got on his feet, it was just a lot. It's insane to me. So when he thought he can extort Tandy, use her until he couldn't use her up, and then I guess get on his feet. Hold up. I'm sorry, y'all. So I guess he thought his plan was to constantly use Tandy until he couldn't use her up no more, and just get all of this, secure his bag out of Tandy, and then leave her high and dry. Anyway, y'all remember Madam asked Smoke to unalive the cop that unalived Rayshawn. So Smoke have the cop tied up. Y'all know he's a racist bigot. And like you see in today's society, like you see now, cops and the racism, and he act exactly like we see today in real time. So he has a cop tied up, and the people that it was 3 people that the cop set up. It was an attorney, a young guy who had a promising future, basketball scholarship set up. Now the only thing he can do is get a job at a gas station. And then it was a woman that he had set up. He had no remorse for them then, and he had no remorse for them now when the cop himself was tied up at the tree. None. Zero. So after Smoke was like, this is what you did. You did this to this person. Explain everything those people had going on. The second guy was an attorney. He told the cop what you did to this attorney. How he don't have the ability to, with his legs or whatever. And I think something was going on with the black lady. No remorse, no nothing. So Smoke was like, y'all can get y'all lick back. And I wasn't mad at it. Never mind. I just wasn't mad at it. And so he called the cop called the lady a B word. And so Smoke was like, that's not how you talk to a lady. And so Smoke hit him. So he was like, if you gonna unalive me, go ahead and do it. Oh no, I'm not gonna. He was like, if you gonna pow me, go ahead and do it. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. So what Smoke did, he took this instrument and took out all of this up here, peeled it off so you can see his brains, poured some kerosene all over him, and set him on fire. He was like, I told you. He took a toy. He took a pow toy. I think it was a pow toy, and had kerosene on it, and kind of doused it all over him. It was like, I told you I wasn't gonna pow you, but what I will do is burn you up. and burn you straight to hell. I was like, you know what? Burned him alive. And I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it. Shout out to Smoke. Listen, I did this last season and I'm gonna do it again. Shout out to Lucky Johnson. If you do not know, he is actually Tyler Perry's cousin, I believe. He is from New Orleans. I've never seen him in New Orleans. I've never met him. But he is Tyler Perry's cousin. And I just want to just shout him out because he's been doing amazing on this show. And he's been on other things. He hasn't just been on All the Queen's Men. He's been on other things that I've seen him on. So I just want to see what and where this is going to take him. I think this is his first TP gig. And even though TP was his cousin, he did say that he's never asked for any favors. Everything he's gotten, even in New Orleans locally, he would put on local plays and productions. I do remember that. But he's never asked for any favors or anything like that. So I am glad that he is really getting his just due and maneuvering in that TP sector. But I want to see him also beyond the Smoke character, and I want to see him overall in the Tyler Perry world of it all, and even outside of that, in other places. But I would love to see him more in other TPs of it all. Even if we see him behind the scenes, if he does things behind the scenes, because he's great at that too. And I think he does a lot of producing. So writing, producing, he's done a lot of that because he's put on a lot of stage performances. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to point that little nugget out. So Madam just bust down Tammy's window, literally bust the windows in Tammy's house, literally, and basically just unalived her. Ain't really nothing to talk about there. Tandy knew that this was it. I just want to say, for everything she's done, for how she's shown up, doing the absolute most, for what her and her husband did to Rayshawn, for how she has been acting. I don't care that Tandy has, how they say, is no longer on this side of heaven. She is probably on the other side of hell with her husband. And this is where the episode ended. Like, shout out to Tandy, okay? Anyway, y'all, that's all I got. This is your girl Kiwan, reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will catch y'all in the next video.